Have you ever stopped to think that a kid's cartoon could actually teach us something really deep about problem solving? Well, today, we're diving into an episode of Doraemon where a simple homework problem spirals into this incredible masterclass on teamwork, empathy, and, believe it or not, the limits of technology. So, let's get into it.
It all kicks off with a feeling I think we've all had at some point. Our guy Nobita is faced with a drawing assignment, and he says it all right here. Doraemon, I'm not good at drawing at all. And that one line, that's the whole problem, isn't it? It's that fear that you just aren't good enough.
So, what is this simple problem? Well, it's way more than just a drawing. For Nobita, this feels like a giant, impossible hurdle. It's him coming face to face with what he thinks are his own shortcomings, especially when he starts comparing himself to his friends.
And the social pressure here is a huge deal. See, Tsuneo and Dikisugi, they're not just decent at drawing, they're amazing. And this just sends Nobita's anxiety through the roof. He's not thinking, okay, how can I get better at this? No, he's thinking, how do I get out of this without looking stupid? And that desire for an easy way out, that's what sets this whole story into motion.
And when you need a shortcut in the world of Doraemon, well, you know who you go to. But here's where it gets really interesting. Before Nobita can even get his hands on a gadget, we see it being used for its actual intended purpose. And you got to pay attention to this, because it's key to understanding why everything goes so wrong later. The gadget is called the Anytime Anywhere sketch set, and its function is just incredible. It can literally visualize and draw a perfect sketch of any place from any moment in history. Think of it like a magical Google Images for the past. It's a tool made for one thing: retrieving lost information. And looking at these two problems side by side really just makes it all click. The adults, they use the gadget to solve a problem of faded memories, a fact-based question about what their old town looked like. The gadget gives them the perfect factual answer. But Nobita, he wants to use the exact same tool to solve a problem of fear. He's trying to use a fact retrieval machine to bypass a personal feeling of inadequacy. So, as you can probably guess, this is where everything goes completely off the rails. Nobita's attempt to use the sketch set for his homework accidentally sets off a totally different device, one that turns his simple little problem into a very real and very dangerous crisis. He triggers something called the real-time escape game, and the stakes just shoot through the roof. Look at this warning. This game is broken, and it's known to trap players for months. All of a sudden, that fear of a bad grade seems pretty small, doesn't it? This just became about survival. Now, the rules sound simple enough. The friends are locked in a room. To get out, they have to punch a lock, and it gives them a question. You answer it right, the door opens. But here's the most important rule, the one that changes everything. They have to work together. This isn't Nobita's problem anymore. It's everyone's. Okay, so let's get into the puzzles themselves, because this is where the real lessons are hiding. Each one is designed to test a completely different type of intelligence, and it shows them what skills they actually need to get out of there. So the very first puzzle they get is this complex math equation. It's pure, cold logic. And what happens? They freeze. The entire group, even the super smart Dekisugi, is totally stumped. All their book smarts are useless under this kind of pressure. And what's the first thing they do? They start blaming Nobita for getting them into this mess. And right here, in the middle of all the panic, Shizuka says what might be the most important line in the whole story. She just cuts through all the finger-pointing. She gets it. Blaming each other is a guaranteed way to fail. Collaboration isn't just a nice-to-have, it's the only way they're going to make it. That right there is the first real answer to the puzzle. So smart move, they ditch the math problem and try another door. And this next question is a total curveball. It's got nothing to do with logic or math. It's about people. It asks what Tsuneo's mom loves most in her entire closet. What's so fascinating is watching Tsuneo's thought process. His first guesses are all logical, all based on money, the expensive coat, the designer handbag, and they're all wrong. The right answer is something with zero monetary value, but massive emotional value, a t-shirt he made for her when he was a little kid. The game is basically screaming at them that understanding people is about empathy, not just dollars and cents. And Tsuneo's reaction here, man, it says it all. It's this huge moment of realization for him. The puzzle wasn't just a riddle. It was this profound lesson in empathy that connected him to his mom's love in a way he hadn't thought about. This is a whole different universe from trying to solve for A. So they escape that room, but the next puzzle takes it to another level. This one is all about social intelligence, about hidden feelings. It asks Tsuneo which one of his friends he'd want to punch. I mean, talk about an impossible question to answer in front of everybody, right? And that's where the story leaves them, stuck.
But the unanswerable question is the lesson. The game is showing them that some problems, especially the ones all tangled up in human feelings and secret thoughts, don't have a simple, clean answer. They're the hardest puzzles of all.
So, what does this all add up to? Let's bring this whole thing full circle, back to Nobita's homework, and see what the escape game taught us about the real way to win.
This table just lays it out perfectly. You have two different paths. On one side, there's Nobita's plan, an individual shortcut using technology, all designed to avoid the problem. And the result? A way bigger, way scarier problem. But the escape game forced them down a different path, one based on teamwork and empathy. The focus wasn't on avoiding the problem, but on actually understanding it. And the outcome wasn't just getting out, it was understanding each other better.
At the end of the day, the gadget, the technology, was completely powerless to solve Nobita's real problem, his lack of confidence. It could copy a picture, but it couldn't create courage. But the human skills, empathy, communication, teamwork, those were strong enough to get them out of a life-threatening trap.
And that kind of leaves us with a final question for ourselves, doesn't it? We all have our own escape games, those challenges that feel impossible, whether it's a project at work, a creative block, a tough conversation. So what's your biggest escape game right now? And maybe more importantly, are you trying to solve it with a gadget, or are you looking for the people you need to solve it with?